Hey, welcome back to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. My name is Laura. I'm going to do a general message, my winner, but also you may wind up landing on this message and also resonating with it. It's not uncommon. That's how spiritual energy works. It works like a magnet of who and what is supposed to come into your life. Now, if you're new to the channel, anything of any importance or relevance to the channel, you can find in the description box below. And if you resonate with this message, you're new to the channel, give me a like, comment the word that I pull from my deck in your comment bar if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, and subscribe to the channel. Those three things are the things that you need in order to enter into winning a free reading with me. All right. If you're new to the channel, also know that I like to look deep within the reading. I don't just like to look at what goes on the surface. We do look at the shadows, the spiritual blocks, see how they play out as karmic themes within your experience. This helps you shape shift. The card of the video is always how I like to also start my readings off. It's how Spirit tells me this is where we start, what we need to look at. So let's see. Nervousness. Okay. So I feel that you are in connection with somebody, but that you're in separation with, and they have a lot of nervous energy when they think about you for a lot of different reasons. I feel like there's a soul connection. So there is this deep love, this deep connection, this familiar energy, but there's also a sense of, I can't be with you because then I'm going to lose control of myself. This person overthinks, gets in their own way. They tend to look at this relationship as, like I said, almost like taboo, like because it's so deep and they've never had such a deep spiritual connection with someone. They don't really like to go that deep either within their relationships. They like to be in full control. So this relationship does make them nervous, but they're also nervous if they're going to lose you. That's the problem. See, they're stuck. It's like damned if they do, damned if they don't. So this is the underlying energy that's driving your reading. I don't know why. Let's look at some hidden truth. Let's see why that's the energy, and let's see what your person does. And if they're not treating you well, either way, we're always going to look and see why you attract the person that you do into your life. Because if it's a person that is not on your level and they can't rise up to be on your level, it's never to compromise. It's always to learn what was the spiritual reason that the universe brought you this person. What were you supposed to learn? What were you supposed to heal? That's the best that we can do. Because once you integrate it, you will see that you break that karmic connection. Like if it's not built on real unconditional love, you won't have that feeling for that person anymore. A lot of times we just attract people that we need to learn. Okay, I know I was a distraction from your pain. See, they always saw your worth. I feel like they treated you as if they didn't always see your worth, but that was so that they didn't have to give as much. I feel like this person's a real business savvy type of person. So they're like used to handling their relationships kind of like that, where again, always coming in like a little bit ready to negotiate, which is the problem. In relationships, you shouldn't really do that. You should be open. So again, they have issues with relationships to begin with. So they're like, you must have like had a lot of, bad relationships, maybe problems with family. Like collective reading for everyone is going to be different, but you wouldn't have been with me because I see your worth, but you didn't really see your worth. I love you though. And I feel like they love you because unconditional love is that. It's like, I can't explain it. This person, I feel like, is afraid of love. They're afraid to be vulnerable. They're afraid to like communicate. I I wish I could share my good news with you. They can, but it's like it would require them to be vulnerable. It would require them to go to you. There's a sense of, I don't really want to have to go to you because then I'd have to see myself differently. And I don't really want to see myself differently. I want to seem like I don't really care. I want you to show me that you care. So there's a little bit of this energy, and that's how you know a person has a wound there. Thing is, if it's triggering you, you definitely need to look and see why this person has come into your life. But this is, again, their hidden truths, which is, I have strong feelings for you. I do. I love you, but I don't know if I can change. I want to know everything about you, but I hold myself back from asking. I'm afraid I'll get in too deep, and there's no lie. It's like this person is strategizing. It's like, I want to keep it surface. It's like, because I'll lose myself. And the reason why they feel like they lose themselves is because they haven't created enough of themselves. That's why they have bad relationships. They always get in codependent relationships, so they're used to keeping it real surface and fun and light. I know the universe works in mysterious ways, but sometimes I judge this situation instead of surrendering to it. Yeah, like I said, almost like it's taboo. Like it's like I have no control. And it's like, when really it's like that's not what it is. It's that this person is just overthinking, just getting in their own way. You are in your old patterns. Again, to see they're in their old patterns. It's like this is what happens. When a person has a spiritual block, they get in their own way. And the patterns is that no, I need to not be vulnerable. I need to control it. I need to hide behind my mask. I want you to perceive me as I'm the mess, so I won't let you get close. The whole time they're not paying attention to how you're perceiving them or what they're losing. They don't really want to like lose you. They want to control the situation. I'm conflicted about whether I have what it takes to be your partner. We know that. We know that it's all about, again, what they need healing in. Is that I want it, but I don't. It's like what holds them back is that you're a high vibration. What holds them back is the thing is that this relationship is not built on money or on things. It's just a real connection that they want to explore you. There's a sense that you would want to explore them, that it's much deeper. Again, intimacy scares the shit out of them, and this would be a real intimate connection. And we're not talking sex, we're talking about realness, vulnerability. They're like, you might not like me. They don't like them. That's what the problem is. I feel like I don't deserve your love. I'm worried you'll leave me when you see who I really am, and I'm not shitting you. There it is, right there. And it's like the insecurity. So we have to say, okay, like I feel like person that loves, they still cannot control their love. Eventually, if it's real love, they won't be able to. However, the ego can make this person again hold back, and that's really what I feel like is happening here. It's like they're getting in their own way before even knowing, and that's based on past relationships. That's based on what they've experienced. So we have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? What are you supposed to learn from this? All right, universe, great. You're bringing me somebody that doesn't know like what they're doing here. Like, do you know how that makes me feel? And then the universe says, well, no one should be able to make you feel anyway. It's like if they're making you feel that way, it's because of you. Again, self-sabotage. Ooh, this person, like again, self-sabotages themselves, as I said. But then we say, but okay, but why did I? And Spirit says, well, you stop sabotaging yourself by seeing that the writing's on the wall, but expecting this person to change instead of you changing. Again, because you're a miracle, what comes into your life? Are you deserving of love? Are you doing what it takes by giving yourself love? Again, oppression. Again, this person made you feel suppressed, right? And that's the inner child one, is self-sabotage and oppression. And by oppression, really, by if you're not able to truly be yourself, and you're not able to express yourself, which is what I kind of feel like what happened to your person too. So there is a soul connection, spiritual connection, almost mirroring the same wounds. It doesn't mean that their actions are the same. This person was oppressed, and so that meaning you're not good enough. There's something wrong with you. Um, don't express yourself that way. Do it this way. And so they overthink. And that's why they get in their own way. And you, again, feel like you're not deserving of love. And possibly because you were oppressed, being told that, no, you should do things this way. People could have the best intentions. You could grow up in an environment that they have the best intentions for you, but they're viewing your life through their life experiences, and then getting so much in somebody else's life is what makes a person kind of second guess themselves when they're growing up. When we grow up in an environment that there's too much of that, we are then unconsciously taught, maybe I can't trust myself. And so then we wind up overthinking, overdoing. There's a sense of that. I'm going to pull just one more. And so again, lies and secrecies. And so I would say not showing people that you're, ooh, not yet. Ooh, let's hit that. Not that it's not about if you can't really express yourself, then it's like, and you're pretending to be someone else, then your life is pretty much built on a lie, right? It's like, so this is more about a connection that came into your life to teach you both, but to teach you both about loving yourselves, about knowing what you deserve, about like this person does care about you, but they're not capable. And so you staying connected to them, you essentially never get what you want. And so that would keep you in a place of like your oppression. But really it's this, you're here to be an expression of love. Because the universe's energy is love. That's the energy of God. You are down here first and foremost to be an expression of love. And when you are, then you're abundant, and then you attract abundance into your life. This person's trying to like oppress you by giving you nothing because they don't feel good about themselves because they're insecure. So at the end, it's like it doesn't matter. You still wind up without anything. And so it's like I said, we ask spirit, well, what energy can we pull in to try to balance out, to integrate this type of situation, especially when you really care about somebody, but they're not capable or willing to step it up. It still makes us feel bad. And so again, tell us something else, make us feel a little bit better. That's how I look at it. And acceptance, thank you. It's like I accept every step that life presents me without resistance. I try to find out what the universe is trying to teach me so that I can grow. Thus, I advance in freedom on the path of light. So it's again almost like you just have to accept that the universe brought this into your life to be like, you're worth more than this. It's like it doesn't matter. The unconditional love is just that. They have that for you. You have that for them. Doesn't matter. It doesn't look good. And it doesn't feel good. It keeps you in a place of limitation. So you, again, it's that. that sometimes things just don't go our way, and elevation. So again, to help you evolve, I free myself from fear and trust the universe. Again, that the universe brings people in our life to teach us and also makes them not be able to stay in our life. I direct my thoughts to the beauty inside and around me. I use my spiritual strength and knowledge to create light, and I rise above all doubt. So I feel like then the spiritual knowledge was that you can love somebody unconditionally, but they're just not meant to be in your life, and not for the purpose that you originally thought. So I'm going to leave that there. Now, I don't know whether my winner, Jen, ever came on. If you did, please let me know. I assume that you were on this channel. Please let me know if you were here. I see that there's some people that are still here. Let me just make sure that she didn't reach out to me and text me while I'm sitting here. Okay, so I said she might see me. Just want to know whether she's on. My winner reached out to me today. We can kind of go back and forth about figuring out when we were going to do her reading. And first it was today, and then I forgot. And then it's almost like this crazy energy. And I always believe that whatever's going on in our life is trying to teach us about ourselves. And right now, I know that it's almost like organized chaos. That's the energy. That there's no rhyme, reason, structure, or anything. It just is like, and I say that because my husband's in hospice. So everything is like, but I still need to work. And I still need to. And so, of course, getting organized, that's not my forte. I'm a psychic. Again, I don't like structure. But it's again, Spirit says, I bring you everything that you need, every experience to help you grow, to help you evolve. So my point is that I was supposed to do her appointment at 11, and then I double booked. I had another appointment at 11 because I said, I don't need to write it down. And really, I know I need to write it down. So, I'm still trying to get it together with her. So I don't know if she's on. If she's on, please let me know. If not, I am just going to pull some cards again. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask me in the chat. That's what I'm here for. This is a Psychic Soul Healer channel, and I help people integrate their spiritual wounds into spiritual gifts. Everywhere where you have a wound, it's where you have detached from, where you have rejected a part of yourself. And those parts of yourself are actually hidden either gifts or things that need to be integrated. Integration means do something different, learn the spiritual lesson so that you can see yourself differently. Jen, you are on. Great. I'm so glad. I was like, oh no. I said, is she on? I don't even know. Like, okay. So I was saying about the spiritual wounds and why it's important to know what our spiritual blocks are, because there's many different opportunities that we could take advantage of. But a lot of times if we have shadows, we don't see those opportunities. So integration, again, is to be able to learn the spiritual lesson. Once you do, you become whole. You begin to see yourself differently. And not just see yourself differently, but a lot of times see your place within the universe. So we're going to just pull, or this is going to be the underlying energy. And even though that this reading is going to be for Jen, know that if you landed on this, you most likely resonate with it, because that's the way that the universe works. We're a magnet of who and what comes into our life. Now, you might not need the same spiritual guidance, but you'll get something out of the reading. All right. Naturalist. So then you're going to write that word in your comment bar if you want to enter into a free reading with me, as well as like the video, subscribe to the channel. If I chose you, if I wrote the word winner underneath, just reach out to me then, and we'll figure out the best day and time that works for the both of us. Now, I feel like you've come to a place in life where you just want it to be easy. Like, and like you don't want it to be like uncomfortable for you. And I feel like you're reflecting back on like your relationship and you're seeing where, it wasn't really comfortable. And I feel like you're actually doing a lot of healing right now, Jen. Believe it or not. It's like I feel like you're in a place where like there's a little bit of anger, a little bit of like I don't even know how I got here, and almost like acceptance of like you're going through the entire process, and where you're saying, well, like unless it's true to me, unless I can feel comfortable, where I feel like you were in a relationship. Yeah, like that's what it feels like. It's like, and normally you're not, you're really normally very like happy, go lucky. And there's a sense of, I hope I don't lose that part of me, but I'm really kind of pissed off. And Spirit says, no, that energy is fire energy. And it's made to be able to transmute that energy, like needs to be transmuted, and it's done by again through creation, and it's something that you've always done, but I feel like there's still a sense of I'm not really that satisfied because I don't get enough from that, like there's a sense of I'm depleted, I need, and I feel like I always thought that this person was going to do the right thing or come back or fix it or be different. And this person's not strong enough. It's like, it's not that they don't care. They do care, but their level of the way that they care is not. And so there's a sense of, but I want to feel that way again, is when I tap into you. It's like, I want to feel that way again. And it's almost like you're saying you will feel that way again, but it's not by, you got to get yourself back to a place of feeling yourself like, and that takes, it does take time. And I think for a long time you weren't willing to look at it, you weren't willing to. So I mean, it's not like this person doesn't care, I just don't feel like they'll ever step up to the place. It'll always be a sense that, when you're at the airport, they're at the dock, that they're at the boating dock, that you'll always feel like, why is it that we can never be on the right track? And it's because this person's afraid of intimacy. This person like knows that they have to change in order to really be in a relationship, and they don't really want to do that. It's like, hey, Liz. Yeah, like that's fair. I wasn't ready to look at it. Yeah, I know that that's what it was. You weren't. And let's see, it's been a while. I can see. Thank you so much, Lynn. Um, but yes, that's it. We've come to a place in life to be like, you know what? I can't hold space. I can't hold space for something that can't show up for me. And there needs to be that little bit of that anger where you cut it off, because that psychic energy is still like very much there between you and this person, and it kind of keeps like where like it like this person can tap into it and feel like I can get around to it, I can fix it, I can, where that's not necessarily true, and they know that it's also not necessarily true, but there's a sense of I don't know where I'm going, and I just would really like to experience that. And Spirit says it can happen. Like I don't really believe that it can happen, and that's the spiritual block that that I don't like. It's like because it's not true. It's like what it is for you is more or less like I feel like doing the same type of things. Like you need to take a chance on yourself. You had so many wonderful ideas that you gave this man, but that you don't really act on yourself. I mean, you're like, I don't have the resources, but I think it's like, again, it's you do. It's like, would you need to make certain changes in your life? Yeah, but you can make your money grow for you. You can invest in other things. It's like you need to find that. And it's like, if it's not being a teacher or being a coach or doing any of that because you've done it already, then it's to be like, I feel like there's different ways to be a coach though. Like you need to like do like your cooking and just getting into things that you're dancing like, but dancing like in a fun way, things that you are going to be just passionate about at this point, like to figure that out, to fill yourself with that. There's a sense of you're like not connected, I feel like, to there's a sense that you're not connected to yourself. Does that make sense? Like that there's a sense of your that yeah, like, and that's why I'm saying it's like where you're like, I'm tired, I'm lost. It's like I don't want it. And so it's like it's okay to just surrender and like sit with it, to fully process it, you know, to fully process. You have to be able to um, really think about what is it that you want within your life, the type. But since you and I last talked, I feel intent. Yes, and yes, you have done a lot. But I think that the next step is not any of that. I feel like those are beautiful things, and you needed to do those things. It's like on your own. But I'm talking about now like investing some of your money to like for a bigger venture, because I feel like that to grow your money in a different way. So maybe take a class, and then even if it was like 5%, even if it was yeah, yeah, and the reason why is because you had the one thing that I feel like you had with your ex was you guys built something together. You built something together. You birthed something together. And so you have that mastermind where you're a creator, but what always holds you back are the finances. So it's like to bank on yourself, because when you bank on yourself, you are gonna attract like the type of man that you want to in your life. It's like that's what's missing, to be honest with you. It has nothing to do with at this point. I didn't say about taking classes, if you notice, and going out and meeting anybody or any of that, because I've done that, and that's good, because anyone that comes into your life, you're going to be able to set appropriate boundaries. You're never going to fall for that, because your last relationship was codependent. It was. It's like this person was like almost like your other half. You perceive them like your other half, where there is no other half. You are the gift. That's you brought to the table. You made that relationship fun. You know that. You know that. So, but it's like almost like, well, I can't be that without that. And Spirit says, well, it's again, this is about slow and steady progress. We have to say, what holds us back? Well, that. Yep. Can you see if moving towards projects that are about home decor? I love the home decor, yes, but it's also about this would have you embody it. And when I say embody it, I'm talking about like how you have your YouTube channel that has that. Well, it's also like the home decor, like stepping into it, taking classes, being in it. It's like, yeah, because you have an eye, you're creative, you're personable, It's about educating people to like really embodying it. If you don't realize how much time it takes, well, or you do because listen, you're a dancer and that didn't happen overnight. It's like it starts like with how much time. So it's really putting in that amount of time. And so I feel like you would, but we tend to get bored. So it's like you would have to do it in all different avenues. The home decor thing, you know what I mean? You would have to design it, to have YouTube pages. Again, what makes you an expert? It's like otherwise it's not going to be enough. And that's always like the underlying thing. Do you love home decor as much? No, you like helping people though. And so it's again, and yes, you like design and you like fashion and you do like putting things together and you like colors. And but I think in order to really become, it's gotta be all about that. Yeah, otherwise it gets boredom. It's well, it's like that's any impact, any impact. It's like, and what my fear is it's not enough. I don't want to see you live that capability, which is there's not enough. I don't have enough money. It's not bringing me any people. It's like it's not what me being a psychic healer. I have three different YouTube channels. I have a TV show. I have books. I have two oracle systems. That it's that constantly creating when you're in the creative field, no matter what that is. And it's about helping other people. It's about connecting to other psychics. It's about lifting each other up. It's about all of it. I know that's why I'm saying that's exactly what I'm saying. Like you do like helping other people. So that is what it is. Fix on it. Right. And that's what I said. You're not, but you can do it. I feel like a lot of times we don't know what exactly it is. So my thing is you can even have a podcast on or a vlog on design. And that winds up taking off when you're like, oh, the whole time I was doing the decorating and but you know what? I thought the decorating was a little bit of a pain in the ass, to be honest with you. Because I didn't want to deal with the distributors. And I didn't want to, or you could be like someone that's like, oh, I don't like the podcast thing, but I love dealing with the distributors. It's again, there's so many different elements of the job and what's and how you find your niche, how you find your unique individuality is to do it, but to do it through all these vehicles to so that makes you the expert number one because you've done it through all different mediums, but it's also like it gets you your exposure because you're out there and and the people, your tribe comes to you, your people that support you, that are like, hey, yeah, here I am. Like Lynn came on, hi, here I am. It's like you need people like that. You need people like also that are like yourself, that are like, oh, here I am, yeah, that's the thing. I don't know what it is. That's why I'm saying, right. That's why I'm saying that's what it is that you need to do. It's like because you wouldn't know exactly what it is. It's the universe. God makes a way where there is no way. That's just for you, but it won't make a way unless you are embodying what you do and the mastery, becoming the master. And unless you're really passionate about it, it's not going to be enough. And that's why I'm saying the home decor is good because I feel like you like to put things together, but it would be that you still have to find your style, whether you were doing home decor or whether you were doing basket weaving. So it would be, well, I'm going to go to a few like first I might go to a few decorators like to see, to learn, because just because you want to do it, it's like if you don't know furniture and you don't know like the different styles of furniture, and you're not going to be able to work with every single type of person. So, and you have to know what you're talking about. And that's not a bore, shouldn't be a boring thing like, oh, now I got to sit here and read a bunch of books. No, what it should be is I'm going to go to a bunch of different furniture places. I'm going to go to a bunch of antique places. I'm going to go and I'm going to educate myself because I like to do that anyway. And then I'm also going to meet people and introduce myself. Eventually, they'll get to see my face. I'll be a familiar person. And then if I become a buyer, well, then it's again, they're going to obviously know my face because they've always seen me and tell me about whatever it is. They're also going to educate me because these people know what they buy. Oh, that's a 1942 Victorian, whatever. It's like that's pure oak, that's pure maple. It's like you begin to know and begin to see what things look like. Otherwise, there's no, again, the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. If you can imagine it, you create it, and you imagine it by embodying it. It's like, oh, I see what it is. It's like to really do it, to really become it. And so, and that's by getting into it. Remember, it's how much heart you give something. So if it's going to be on the surface, it's not really going to work. It's got to be like really like this is what you, and so you don't really know what it is. Then it might be I listened to some podcast, and then you're like, okay, I listened to this podcast yesterday, and everything that the lady said in the podcast was wrong. Everything in the podcast, so it inspired me to put on a podcast. It's good. What inspired you, Jen? Well, I heard that lady and she did a horrible job. She didn't know what she was talking about. So I said I can do a better job on that. And it inspired me to do it. And it was a way that I learned and it was a way that I embodied it. Wouldn't you know? So and so reached out to me from da da da, and they asked me to be on their TV show. Did you plan that? No, the universe conspired to bring you that. It conspired to bring you that because you embodied what you wanted to become. That you again, the thought was there, the intention was there, but the amount of heart was there. And that is the key ingredient. We can't shoot for perfection. There is no perfection. We shoot for excellence, and our excellence is always found within our unique individuality. And you don't know what your unique individuality is because you haven't, you're like, well, it would just be home decor. So that's not enough. You're like, well, I like it, but I don't really like it. Who knows what the fuck I like? It's like, well, no one knows what they like until they really go out and they see. It's like, well, I'm called to that. My intuition calls, so that's the right way to start. Your intuition is called for you to do that. So that your higher self says you'd be good at that, but then it's still how much effort and energy that you put into it. And so there should be no expectation of what it looks like either. It's like, I just like to do this. I like to go to the store and see the different fabrics. I like to learn about the different furnitures. Then I took a few classes online just to see. I learned about it because I'm creating myself. And then it's like you can do it. Otherwise, it's not gonna last. It's like you're going to get into it and possibly spend money to like learn a few things, and you're not going to get the results that you want. People have an unrealistic expectation of how fast things are supposed to happen for them, and that's everybody. You know, that's it's because in our mind we were raised by people to think that we needed to learn at a certain pace. It doesn't. You don't find yourself that fast. You don't find your unique individuality. Just like there's a million psychics out there. It doesn't mean that one psychic's better than another. There's different approaches, there's different imprints, and you'll be called, the universe brings to each person their people to learn, to grow, to heal, to do. It's again, and mine is not better than yours. And it's again, they're all different. And that's why I'm saying, yeah, done the path before, spent money, expectations didn't click. And that's why I'm telling you that shouldn't be. It's like, it should be like for you to learn. I went to Macy's, I went to Nordstrom's, I went to, the furniture store in the town. I learned online. I learned you don't need to spend thousands of dollars to do that. You can even take a class on Udemy. That's like They have flash sales, even certifications that you could that are just as good as if you went to college because they're real professors. There's resources out there to see whether or not it would even be worth it for you to do it. It's like, but you need to invest in yourself, and the investment is the time, it's the energy. It doesn't necessarily all the time mean the money, and but there are resources out there that you can again take advantage of that would teach you about that to see whether you would like it. And then it would be as simple as you doing that and starting a Facebook page and then an Instagram page and really a YouTube page and creating it. But it's how much love you have for it. It's how much love, because God knows it's a lot of times when we start to do something just because we have an idea or passion doesn't mean that we're good at it. It doesn't mean, I'll tell you, I was a disaster. Like every you start as a disaster before you're a master. It's just the way that it goes. And it's because there's an unfoldment process. Right. Yes, that's the thing. It will be fun to explore because you like to put things together. But if you're going to be like, well, I don't have the money to do it to be consistent, or, oh, I don't have, so I feel like you have to figure out like how you can how you can do it. Like, listen, because part of decorating is staging, and part of interior design is that. So I would start by first looking at fabrics. But it's by creating yourself. Once you, I'm so glad. See, that's what it is. But that's for all of us. But that's really what it is. It's like you have to first start with the small things, like piece by piece by piece. If it's really your passion, then you're not going to care about saying, you know what, I have a spare 3 hours. I'm going to drive to here and I'm going to look at this furniture store. And I'm just going to look around and learn. And maybe I'll take my notebook and I'll write it down. And maybe I'll take some photos of it. It's again how much heart, how much energy, how much purpose, the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. Become it, become it, become it. It's like that is how we feel ourselves. That is how we create ourselves. That is how that we're not, believe you me, we're not in charge of how things happen. There's an illusion. What happens is opportunities tend to come and we're like, oh, I want that opportunity. Oh, but if we don't really feel like we can have it, or if we don't feel that we're deserving of it. But let me tell you something, if you're creating yourself, you're creating yourself, you're creating yourself, what you're saying is, I know I'm deserving of it. I'm putting the energy in there. See, the co-creation process happens when you're consistent, when you're embodying what you love and you're consistent, you're giving and receiving of love through your free will. And so it takes a mustard seed's worth of effort every day, but be consistent, be consistent, be consistent. You'll make the relationships over time. Imagine going to the same store over a year of time. Eventually, it'd be like, you know, you're always in here. You want a job? And you'd be like, I wasn't even looking for a job. How'd you wind up working here? Well, I was in here all the time. Well, and then I wasn't going to work the job, but then Spirit kicked me in the head and said, well, I'd be stupid not to because I get a discount off everything. That's the selling point. All these people come into this furniture store. These are my clients. I can sell my service. I'd be stupid that I wouldn't take advantage of this. Why didn't I see that? Again, Spirit says, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. You're not in charge of the way that we get there. You're only in charge of how much heart and love and passion you put into it, and understand we shoot for excellence, not perfection. There is no perfect. God says only I'm perfect. You are perfect in your own right. But not everyone's going to love your stuff and your style, and you wouldn't want them to anyway. But you tried. You, again, become that. And then that's what happens. Everything, it becomes an alignment to you that you're never moving you. You're just, again, listening to the universe, right? Being guided by the universe. And that's really what it's all about. Thank you. I can put my heart. Right. It's like, and that's you put your heart and your passion. I did just have my friend choose all of the themes. Right. Right. I think psychics a lot of times do have, again, highly sensitive people do have, again, the gift of that, again, of putting things together. And I just think that it's about doing it your way, but being consistent and not letting your brain say, this is a waste of time. It's even if it's 5 minutes a day, where if I didn't have any time to, the whole day got away from me, but I read a blog about color today. That's a point. That's again, it's the times. Again, you're adding up karma rewards points by putting in the energy and time and faith and love into your craft. And then the universe conspires to make a way where there is no way. That's just for you. So no one can take anything that's yours or anything that's your place. There will always be a sense of, okay, so I'm going to ruin it, so I'm going to take it. No one can. If you fully have created yourself, first of all, everyone sees who you are because it's, again, you're creating yourself. That's number one. Number two, you're meeting the right connections. And the right connections are that. Right. Giving them credit. Yeah, exactly. And you want to build up your karma reward points so that you can attract and the life that you want, and you attract the life that you want because you're embodying exactly what you're trying to create. And it's a slow process. It's a very, very slow process. We don't judge the process, again, which is difficult because a lot of us were not raised in environments that were supportive. So it's about clearing that, and to, like, by embodying it, by because you love it. And then, like, every day, like you said, if you're going to be in fashion, you should know about fabrics. You should know where you can buy fabric. You should know, again, about furniture, the different styles of furniture. You should look at different staging techniques. You should, even if you're watching documentaries on it, it's like, it's the amount of time in your free time, and understand, if you're doing this every day, imagine the amount of knowledge that you'd acquire. Imagine the scrapbook of different fabrics you'd have. Imagine the thing, and it's like, it's to become. And then, you know what, then you could get a little stupid dinky dinky certification online that wouldn't cost you that much money, and you'd learn as you go, because spirit says, it's, again, everything is right there. The illusion is that everyone needs to do things really expensive, and that you need things outside of yourself. And then what happens is you pay the money to the point that you don't have anything. Because, again, there was a sense of, well, I paid for this instead of becoming this. So that's why I'm saying, if you're willing to do the work, it'll be a good thing. But understand, it's going to be a slow process, and it needs to be in between your work and everything else, because it's not going to happen like overnight. So again, I think you can do it. I think it's a good idea. And I think that that would be a good project for you. And once you do that, then I feel like you're not going to be even being angry at your ex because he can't step it up, because he can't be that person. Because really, at the end of the day, the only thing that he really brought you was, you created with this person. He was never really capable of emotionally giving you. What gave to you emotionally was the creation process. And when you birthed that, those ideas came to life. He helped you do that. But there's an essence of, I feel like I can't do that on my own. And Spirit says, you can, but your approach needs to change. And it needs to literally be an unfoldment process where it's an hour a day, 2 hours a day. It's that, like that. So I hope that that is helpful for you, because that's really, again, what is spiritually off right now is that. And as long as it stays off, you're going to get more and more like angry, where really it's like, this person ruined me. It's like, spirit said, this person, you didn't waste your time. You learned. This person taught you. They brought elements into it where they showed you. So take that knowledge now and utilize it. Good. I'm glad that that was helpful for you. And I thank you so much, Lynn, for sharing your, and I love you. Thank you. And I missed you. I hope that you're doing real good. And I hope that you're working on what you're supposed to be working on too. I got no idea. I just typed similar experiences there. Just triple synchronized. Woo! The X is in the rear view. I'm grateful for the lesson. And that's exactly where it is. It's like you can fully integrate those energies now. And by really just being like, I'm happy for the lesson, but it's like I'm also attracting someone more on my level that actually is bringing me like that I can have exactly what I want, because that there's a sense of, well, I can't have what I want, and spirit saying you can too. You can have exactly what you want. It's like, but that needs to be healed. Otherwise, you won't get what you want. Thank you so much. I love you. Thank you so much for being patient with me these couple. It's been like a wild ride, but thank you. And thank you, everyone else. I hope that everyone resonated. And thank you so much for all your likes and comments, subscribes. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. And I'm going to be back on. Thank you. I'm so glad that you resonated. Do me a favor, when this video closes, okay, just say a positive word, because all these comments disappear and it looks like I didn't have anybody on the whole time. When it's like, where did everyone go? So again, I always like for people to like try and win a free reading, because shadow readings are really helpful. They're really helpful because they help us, really to integrate what we need to heal so that we can attract the life and have the life that we want. Being able to just see ourselves differently is helpful when we've seen ourselves as, missing something, defective or whatever. So, like I said, you're going to do it. You're doing it. You're in the process. Thank you, Lynn, for being on with me. And I'll talk to you all soon. I got to put lunch on the table for my husband. I'll talk to you guys soon. Mwah. Bye, Jen. Bye, Lynn.